Hello, animal lovers. This is Rachel Holland. I am a pet portrait artist, and I have been trying new things with my dog, Lollipop. She is quite a special little girl, and I rescued her from our local Humane Society back in November of 2024. And so, her story is unique, just like everybody's story. But I am painting her portrait of where she likes to lay, and she gets the best sleep in this bed. She definitely dreams and jumps around, very relaxed in this bed of hers. But I just love looking at animals. I love painting them. I am just always grown up with animals in my life. And we had a dog that passed away a few years ago, and it took me about 3 years before I was really able to process, not just the grief, but allow myself the time to really consider wanting another pet. I know that when we love these animals, we've had them, we've loved on, treated them like family. And a lot of times that can be the hardest part, is losing them. And so my love for animals extends through my painting, and I just love to have the ability to do this. I know a lot of times people say, oh, I wish I could paint. Oh, I wish I could draw. I can't draw a stick figure. And I'm like, well, if you did want to practice and learn, you really could learn the principles. It's about practice. It's about determination, perseverance. And so through my painting process, I have been really kind of changing and adjusting some of the things that I've been doing. I typically would do more realistic pet portraits in the past because that's kind of what people expect when they send you their photo. They kind of expect it to just look a lot like the photo. But I am changing, and I want to do some things differently. I want to show that artwork is more than just a photograph of the picture. It definitely adds the flair of the artist, the colors that we choose, the brush strokes that we use. All of those things go into creating a piece of a memory. It's the artwork symbolizes the love, dedication, and really the connection between you and your pet. And I say this year has been the year of your dog. I've focused on dogs all year long through my art. And so that's where I'm heading through this painting of my own dog. And so the video here is showing me mixing, and I typically use an egg carton. You'll see that I'm using an egg carton. I just use those materials because it makes for an easy way for me to preserve the paints if I want to keep them for a day or two. I don't have a painting mat that keeps the paint wet. I tend to like to keep it as dry as possible. Adding water only if I need to, and that sort of thing. So the egg carton has been great for me, the styrofoam egg carton. And now I'm adding some accent colors. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about what I do, the process. I like to choose a photo that really speaks to me. This photo, because of its composition, because of the way my dog Lolly is laying in the bed and her twisting her body through that, I like the way it fills the space. And this actually is a 16 by 20 inch canvas. So this is one of the larger ones that I can do for a pet portrait for you if you'd like that as well. And this is probably the most, let's say, thorough or involved painting because it's the whole body of the animal. I typically like to do the face only on smaller canvases, and so I will really accent the face, the eyes, and the nose, everything that brings that dog's personality out. I like to do that. But on this larger piece, it's meant to be so I can hang it in a bigger space on my wall, and I want to really just highlight her and her uniqueness And the reason I chose pink behind the background color is because, and you'll see in just a moment, there's some things I want to share with you. If you get a pet portrait done of your dog or any pet really, I will also do a coloring page. So I wanted to share that with you. I've done coloring pages of people's dogs in the past, and then I have the reference photo here on my iPad. This video is very fast, but I had to make it go faster. I'm adding some colors on her skin, on her body, so that will show through later. And that's why I chose the pink background, is that her skin has some pink undertones to it. And I really wanted to highlight that and accent that, because you can't really like add that later. You have to think as an artist, how am I going to approach this painting? And so each photo is unique and different. Sometimes I decide to change the background. I want to do something different. And in this one, because I was making it a pink underpainting, I wanted to use some accent colors that kind of will go well with that and complement that. So I chose purples and the yellow tones here. So kind of keeping those red, purpley tones involved, because she is a white dog. Her hair is white, but underneath on her skin, she has a lot of spots. And so those dots, when I give her a bath, she looks really different. Her hair is wet and you can see her skin. So I wanted to show that on her face especially. That's why I zoomed in on the reference photo, just to show you that, because you can't see it unless you can see it, but I wanted to accent that and to make it show up even better by putting it on the canvas. And then I'm going to go back over that. Now I'm adding some whites, and I didn't just use a pure white. There are different types of white. This was a transparent mixing white, and so it allows the color underneath to show through. It also doesn't cover as heavy as a titanium white or a zinc oxide, something like that. So this allows the painting to progress and for me to add layers. And so what I'm doing now is covering up a lot of the darker colors that I've added underneath. I had some shadowy colors. I had some yellows in there that I really wanted to put in. And then I might even bring those out later as I do the final touches. This painting is not going to be completed at the end of this video, so it's kind of interesting because I wanted to share my process. I wanted to share the excitement I have over creating these paintings. And as I'm doing this one, I also want to invite you to join me in this challenge I'm doing the month of June. This is still the end of May, but the month of June of 2025, I'm doing a 30 for 30 Paint Your Pet Challenge. Now, pet painting challenge, I should say. I'm not having you paint your pet. I want to challenge you to send me a photo of your pet. And it doesn't obligate you to purchase the painting. I just want to have a lot of different photos. It can be dogs, cats, birds, guinea pigs, snakes, turtles. I do paint any kind of animal. So I just want to invite you to join me in that and send in a photo of your pet. You can do that by subscribing to my email newsletter. I will have that in the bio and linked in this video. I want to invite you to subscribe to that if you're interested in any kind of artwork of your pet, because we won't always have our pets with us. They will pass away, and then we were left with the hole in our heart and a lot of pain and grief with that. But as we continue to work through that in our life, I believe that having a painting of your pet really does bring a sense of peace and comfort to you that nothing else can. Now, photos are photos. That's true. But with artwork, it's made by someone, has a special touch. It has a special voice in it. And through my painting, as I'm painting this, I'm instilling or imbuing a sense of love and comfort that I get from my pet. And so as you explain your relationship with your pet to me, even, if your pet has passed away, I'm interested in that. I'm interested to know about their quirks, their funny little ways, and what they enjoy doing. My dog, of course, is laying down in this photo, so she's calm and relaxed. But I do want to say I love to do action photos. If you have a photo of your dog jumping or doing something like rolling, or just any kind of interesting thing maybe they like to do if they play with another dog. I've done a couple of dogs in a photo painting before, if you have 2 or 3 dogs. So yeah, this I'm adding now colors on top, the titanium, not the titanium, but the transparent mixing white. It allows the colors to show through, and it sort of vibrates. That is what makes this piece very, very special to me, and it's just still continuing. I haven't finished this piece yet, so as I post this video, I'm just real excited about the way this painting is going to look. Eventually, you're going to be able to see some of the remnants that I left showing through, and then of course there'll be areas of her body that are covered up more heavily, so you can see the real texture more of her hair. And as I was painting this, I'm thinking about my dog and how much I love her. She's a big girl. She's about 65 pounds. And, your dog may be a big dog too. It may be a small one. You may have a cat. I've done paintings of different animals. I'll have those on my Facebook page if you want to check those out. And my website really is dedicated to my art that I've made in the past. I have a section on there for commissioning a pet portrait, but for this 30 for 30 Paint Your Pet Challenge, it should be called Pet Painting Challenge, that I'm doing, you can get basically a portrait done, a painting done of your pet at like a fraction of the cost. So what I'm doing is offering, if you send me the photos in, and if I choose your photo to work from and do a painting, then you can purchase the painting for about $50 to $75. And it sort of depends on the size of the canvas that I use. I may choose a little bit different size depending on the photo you send. But these paintings will be smaller. They'll be like up to about 9 by 9 inches. So my typical pet portraits are 11 by 14 inches, and I do acrylic and oil. And so it just depends on the amount of the amount of the process and what I put into that. That usually they're $200 to $300 for a pet portrait, but you're going to be getting quite a steal at this price for $50 to $75. Now I'm finishing up with this. I'm actually correcting a little mistake there, but I just wanted to share with you here at the end, this painting will be completed in the next video, so stay tuned.